In this journey, you go through multiple facets of business. Right now, it's the entrepreneurial hell, you would call it, or just pain. Can be summarized, if it's summarized in one word, it's just pain. And as you start to slowly experience new things and stick to one thing and constantly do it over and over again, that pain becomes less painful, but it's still a pain at the end of the day. And it's not until you actually finally make sales and finally start to see some growth that you can start to hire out, and the pain gets alleviated and just spread out to other people. It's not that the pain goes away, it's just other people are taking segments of your pain and helping you get through this task. Now, once you pass that, you start to get into the point of comfort, and here's where a lot of people can fall off. Here's where a lot of people have fallen off. It's that phase where you make, say your first month you make 11K, and now you're just almost like easing on the brakes, you know, just pressing the brakes a little bit and just slowing down. And so when you ease on the brakes, you start to slow down in business. You get to this comfortable spot of 11, usually around 10 to 15K, and it's easy to just think you made it and just constantly do the same thing. Now, the people that get to this point and stop probably have about 2 to 3 months before they fall off. You have to constantly continue to evolve and continue to feel like you're in this pain state while you're making the money. The best marketers and the most successful entrepreneurs constantly feel pain, and it's not a true pain, it's a simulated pain. A pain that isn't real to everybody else, but to them it's intense. One good example of that is, say, Charlie Morgan. Charlie Morgan explains how he has a limit. He has a sort of like his high point and a low point. And so if you think about it, your low point when it comes to like your bank account, say it gets under $1,000. And so when you get to that point, you start to panic and you start to go in this money saving mode. But now look at it on the other side, where you've been saving for a couple months and you've been financially like responsible, and you get to 25, 50K, or let's not even go that crazy. Let's say you're at over $5,000 or over $10,000 in your bank account. And so you look at it and now you have 5 figures in your bank account, and you think, oh wow, I have money, I can spend it now. And so you start to, same thing, ease off of the gas pedal, slow down on what you were doing before, your financial discipline, and that's when it starts to crumble back down. And it's just a constant cycle. Now, this is human nature. You can't really avoid it. You can only make these loops go a little bit higher and then lower and then higher and lower. But every single time you're going higher. And so for Charlie Morgan, his panic mode is under $500,000 a month. That means he shuts out everyone. He goes into this panic, locked in state at under $500,000. Now, most people, doctors make that in a year. He's making that in a month. And so his high point is around 1.1 million to 1.5 million. But say if he wanted to get to a new level and start to achieve different amounts of success, he would make his low point be $1 million. And so automatically you making money until that $1 million it's almost like mandatory. It's not, you don't see it as an achievement anymore. And so it becomes a lot easier. And one good example of this is one of the programs that we recently launched for a client. And this client does multiple millions of dollars every single year. And he lives in a nice house, has fancy cars, everything. His monthly expenses are around $200,000. That means if he does not make $200,000 in the in the month, he's going negative. So for a lot of people, they won't make $200,000 in a year, and he has to make it in the month, or else he's losing money. And so when we launched this program for him, just the way we attracted attention and just everything around how we worked we were able to produce 10K in the first week. 10K in the first week, and so for a second, I stopped and thought about it, how multiple people don't ever see $10,000 a month, or it's like this end-all goal that they want to achieve one day, and if they ever achieve it, then they're going to be life is going to be complete, and they're going to win the game. And we did $10,000 in a week, and that was low. We were doing $5,000 days at one point, and that was a bad day. We constantly were just looking for the next way to make more money. And so all these low numbers, or all these high numbers to some people, were just becoming low numbers to us. If we had a $20,000 month, it was a very bad month for us. And yeah, and I think a lot of people can take that and start to use it for themselves, and that doesn't necessarily just have to be with business or money. This can be with your health, with your relationships, with your family, whatever it is. A good way to use it as well would be like with losing weight or gaining weight. If you get under a specific amount of, or let's say if you lose a good amount of weight, and you get to a comfortable weight, something you've never been, you look good, you feel good, all the etc. And you start to like ease off on your diet, and you just start to get a little bit lazier, not as disciplined. You're going to slowly start to see that weight creep back up. And when that weight creeps back up, you'll reach a tipping point where it's the point where you just say, I'm done. I'm done with this. You're fed up with being in that situation, and that's where you create a change. And you just have to start to mentally rewire your mind to start thinking like that. Now, the thing with most people is that true patience is never experienced by most people in this generation, at least. We live in a world where everything is overstimulated and everything is instant. You know, if you want to find a girl, you can go on Instagram and see beautiful women. There was I'm not sure where I read this, but a 15-year-old kid who has access to the internet and access to porn can see more naked women than kings were able to see back in the day. Imagine being the king of this whole entire nation, and you have access to any woman you'd like. That is nothing compared to the amount of naked women that these younger kids and these teenagers are able to see on porn in a minute, in an hour. And so, because we live in this instant world, we forget to look at things on a long-term scale. And that's especially true with the business side of things. I'm no perfect in this aspect as well. I see Iman Gadzhi, I see just these big influencers that in 2-3 years they make all this money, or in months you can see like some of their students, oh my goodness, I got my first client, or I'm at 10K a month in just 3 months. And the reality behind that is that there's either much more work that went behind getting to that point, or it's just they're not ready to be in the position to maintain 10K a month. To attract 10K a month and to get to these higher numbers in revenue, it's not that you just make the money and you just become the person that you just have that money. You have to become the person that is able to handle 10K a month. Think about it as if somebody just were to give you $10 million one year, you spent it all, and then the next year, you were told to make that $10 million as well. And so you had all this money in the first year, but now the second year when you spent it all, you try to do the same thing and you didn't get the same result. Because you're not that person that can make and attract $10 million or say $10,000 a month. I'm using $10,000 a month because I think a lot of people want to get to that point. And so because of that, these kids are catching what I call like pumps, and that can be with drop shipping, that can be with running an agency, starting any type of business. And so they're not going through actual pain, which the actual pain is what creates character. And so they're not going through this character, and so when things are going bad, they start to see it and as like a huge problem. They start to panic. And yeah, going back to the whole entire long-term perspective, I've recently just started to reflect on looking at things in a very, very long-term scale. And there's a number in mind, because if you're not doing things with a clear goal or a clear path you're going towards, then you're going to get lost very, very quickly. I mean, I've had weeks where in the beginning of the week I have everything lined up and I know exactly where I'm going with my business or exactly what I'm doing with my health or with my schedule, and then by the end of that week it's all gone and I forgot everything that I said on that Monday. And so that number is 100. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're looking to grow in, look at it as the number of trials and don't start to judge or don't start to measure until you get to 100. And so after 100, you can start to see, okay, what happened in the first 100? What happened in the first 100 trials that I can improve on the second 100 trials. But by the first 100 trials, you're going to have experienced so much, so many different ideas and so many different experiences and so many different pains that, I mean, by 100, you should have a very crystal clear idea of where you're going and how to get there. And so, yeah, I use that with everything, with content, with clients, with weight, with running, with anything that I want to improve on, specifically like writing ads and copywriting. Anything that I want to improve on, I mean, I just use that example. And so if a week is not going really well for me, if content is not doing really well, or if speaking and making these YouTube videos isn't really going well for me, then I just think about what number of what trial is this? Like how many number of trials have I done before this? And so most of the time, I mean, it'll be less than 10, or it'll be less than 20. Definitely not even halfway through. And so you start to think, a lot of people probably get into this like mode of like, oh, it's impossible, or I give up, or I'm burnt out. And it's like you didn't even reach your 20th trial. You didn't even reach your 10th trial. You got to posting 4 videos, say TikToks, and you're already like, I can't grow. No, you post 100 TikToks and you're going to see growth. I had a short form client back in the day that I posted about 31 videos before we ever saw real growth. He was at 2,000 followers the whole entire time. This was a whole month of just shooting content, filming content, scripting content, editing, managing his account, and we saw maybe 100 followers in growth. And so on that 30-second video, I think it was the 32nd or the 33rd video, the next month following our first month working together, that next month we posted that video, and that was the first time we actually got some traction. And we were seeing, I remember looking at it, and it got to 10K in the first 2 hours, and I was like, oh wow, this is insane. And then it got to 50K, and then it got to 100K, and then I got to 200K, 300K, 400K, 500K. Needless to say, on that 34th try, we went from 2,000 followers to 64,000 followers. 64,000 followers from one post, literally just one post. everything before that was not working. If anything, we were losing more followers on a day-to-day basis, and then gaining them back maybe on 1 or 2 posts. But we were constantly losing followers. We weren't really growing anywhere. We weren't seeing anything. Everything was very stagnant. It's just like you try something over and over again, and it's just not working. And so you start to question your abilities, and you start to question your purpose, and you start to question everything. But the good thing about that was I was getting paid to do that. And this was one of my earlier clients, so I was still doubting my abilities. And so since I was getting paid to do that, I just had the obligation to show up and to provide that service. So I wasn't really looking at the numbers. And because of that, I mean, our 34th video or our 33rd video we posted, and he went viral, and we got all these new followers, got all these new leads. He was able to, I think he made a good amount of money from these leads. And so, yeah, it's very interesting when you start to see the success, the level of success some people have around you, and the amount of trials, like how little trials you actually genuinely need to succeed, and how many trials a regular person takes. It's not that much. It's really not that much. And now, mind you, when I say posting videos, and when I say actually like trying something, I mean a quality, like your hardest work, your best effort into every single trial. I mean, I could post 20, 40 videos right now of me saying one word on the reel and probably not see any growth in these 40 videos. I'm talking about every single video is a new, innovative, just, okay, what did we do wrong on the last one? Let's improve it on this one. Let's think of new ideas that we can make this sound way more interesting and capture attention and all this kind of stuff. If you constantly do that, I genuinely think it probably takes less than 30 trials. 90 is for you to become like a solidified just person and with your skills. Now, mind you, you need 10,000 hours to be a true expert. People don't get to 100 hours. 100 hours, that's 1%. No, is that 1%? 100 trials is 1% of that 10,000 hours that you need. People don't even get to that 1%. That's how crazy, and that's 99% of people. Now, there's 0.01% of people, or 0.001% of people that get to that 10,000, because that's just time. At the end of the day, success just revolves around time. Everything in this world works. Every single business model. I mean, you have this right here. You have trading, dropshipping, Amazon FBA, growth operating, copywriting, SMMA. It all works. None of these, I know I have friends in almost every single one of these businesses that makes a lot of money. They're 19, 20-year-old, 21-year-old kids making all this money. I've seen it work. It's not like there's a special magical formula or anything like that. Like all the information that they've told me is information that I've already known from either a TikTok or from YouTube videos or something similar. I know the information just like you probably know the information. Now, the only thing that is different between them and you, and the situation where you're at and the situation where they're at, is that you probably are in this state where you try this one first. You try trading, right? And then you try dropshipping, because you saw somebody make a TikTok saying that dropshipping is so easy. And so you're like, trading is hard. It probably takes four years to learn. You go to dropshipping. And so dropshipping is supposedly this easy thing, and you can buy a pre-built store for $7 and start to make money like that. But if it was that easy, then everybody would be doing. And so, mind you, it's not about the information that you're missing, it's about the time that you're missing. Because like I said, if you spend even 100 hours, which is 1% of being a master expert in any of these businesses, if you spend 1%, just 100 hours, which is summer. Honestly, it's a summer. If you take this upcoming summer and you just fully dedicate yourself to just one thing 100 times. Don't look at anything else. Literally just put on blinders and just say, this one thing is the only thing I'm going to do for 100 times. And then after 100 times, then I can start to evaluate. And what you're going to start to see is that you're going to get a lot better in this. You're going to get a lot better in this. You're going to get a lot better in this. Any one of these, you're going to start to see a little bit of results. Now, you might not be $100,000 months, or you might not have these crazy amounts of months, but I guarantee you're going to be very close to having these 10K months, 20K months, and you're going to start to realize that, oh, I know so much more than what I knew 100 days ago or 100 hours ago, that I know exactly what I need to do to get to that end all goal. Say it's 20, 30K a month, or say it's 50K a month. I know what I need to do to get to that goal, because I've already spent 100 hours. I messed up 99, or I messed up, say 100 of those times, and some of my mess ups were successful and I still made money from that, and some of them weren't, and I failed really hard, but I just failed. I constantly failed, and every single failure just brought a new lesson. And so after 100 lessons of just trying to get better every single try, you're going to be very close. And so, yeah, all these work, and you just need to focus on trying something 100 times. And yeah, that's about it. This is something new that I wanted to try. You're going to see a lot more of these. This is just me trying to expand my thoughts and start to just play with the idea of being able to make 1 hour, 2 hour videos of just constantly just talking and having my ideas connect to each other and just make it one simultaneous video. But yeah, anyways, a little bit of what I do. I help coaches, I help creators, influencers, experts grow their coaching business or grow their info product business through implementing our systems, implementing funnels. If you're interested in that, if that's something that you are struggling with, we've helped wholesalers get from never coaching in their life to making $40,000 per month consistently now. We've had offers that started at, $5,000 a month and now make $25,000 a month. And we're just constantly launching new things. We have school programs that have gotten to $6,000-$7,000 MRR, and it constantly keeps growing. And so we use all this. We know all these different funnels to use and that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, if that's something that you guys need help with, or if you just want to start your coaching program, below there's going to be a link where you can book a call, and then we can talk about whether I can help you and how I can help you and how I can make you some more money. So that's all for now. You're going to probably see these more often because this was actually pretty fun. Yeah, have a good night.